Hey guys, I am Jinil Sheikh. Welcome to my channel JD's Code Lab. Since most of my viewers have been requesting me to add voice in my videos, so here is my first voiceover video and I hope you will enjoy this video. To get early access to my videos and source code, join me on Patreon now. Link is in the description. If you haven't subscribed my channel yet, please subscribe so that you don't miss any upcoming videos. In this video, we are going to design login UI with some image transitions using storyboard animation. So without any delay, let's get started. Okay, like always, we will start with the layouting first and we will divide our grid into two columns. The left column we will be using for showing image transition and the right column for profile picture and login text box and password, etc. Now what I am thinking is, it will be better if we add a control inside the stack panel, so that instead of adding controls with margin individually, we will get the controls stacked one below the other. Then we can set margin as we require. Let's begin the stack panel by placing it in column 1. Now first thing we are going to add is profile picture. So we will use ellipse and place profile image inside its fill property. So add an ellipse having width and height as 100 and horizontal alignment to center. Let's add a margin which is 50 pixels from all the sides. Now moving back to the profile picture, inside the ellipse.fill property we will use image brush to fill the image inside the ellipse and set stretch property of this image to uniform to fill. Regarding the dummy image which I am using here for profile picture, I will provide you the download link in the description for assets folder containing images and icons I am using in this project. You will just have to include the assets folder in this solution like this. Now since our control is ready, let's add an image to the ellipse. Okay, now we are done with our profile picture. Next thing we have to do is add a text block saying need an account and a sign up hyperlink next to it. Let's begin with the text block containing need an account text. And since we want sign up to act as an hyperlink here, we will write it inside hyperlink tag. We don't want the underline below the sign up, we will just set the text decoration to none. I think we should give some margin to the top of our text block. Let's move on to another step. So our step goes by adding a border and an icon inside it to its left and the text next to it, which will represent our email and password text boxes. Okay, so first let's take a border with the following properties: height as 50, border brush will use silver, border thickness as 2 is enough, and corner radius as 4. Now comes our grid with 2 columns. For icon we will use the path control with width and height as 25 pixels. To locate our path data in resource dictionary, we will call it using the key I assigned to the path geometry inside this resource dictionary file named icons.xml. Since we didn't set the fill property, the icon won't be visible, so let's set the fill brush as silver. As you can see, there is some error with the path data. This is because we didn't define the resource dictionary file yet in our main window resources or app.xml. So let's define it in our main window .resources tag. As we are done with our icon, let's move towards our email text box and create a text box with the following properties: border thickness is equals to 0 and foreground silver, grid column we set to 1, and the text should be email, vertical alignment equals to center, and font weight semi-bold. We also need to add some margin over here, so let's add margin to top and bottom on border. Let's repeat the same code for password. Now we just have to make few changes, such as our email icon will be pass icon, and instead of a text box we are using password box here. And password box does not have this text property, instead it has a password property. That seems fine for now. Okay, next we will add a button having following properties: background brush midnight blue, border thickness as 0 pixels, content login, foreground color as white, and height as 50 pixels. And also let's remove the top margin from our password border, since we already have top and bottom margin for email border. Instead, let's add 20 pixel bottom margin. Seems like we need to increase the height of our window. Move forward to our last step of second column. It is forgot password hyperlink. So let's proceed by adding text block with properties, grid column to 1, horizontal alignment to center, and vertical alignment set to bottom, and 20 pixels margin from bottom. As we did before, we will add hyperlink tag with text decoration property none, and our text within the hyperlink tag. Now since our right column part has been completed, we shall move forward to our image transition on left column. So let's start by adding the image control first with the initial image source and value of stretched property as uniform to fill. We will be using these three images for transition. First thing we will do is define these images in our window resources, then assign each of them with particular key. Guys, if you haven't subscribed my channel yet, please subscribe so that you don't miss any upcoming videos. Let's define an initial image here to the image control. Now we will be using triggers to tell our compiler on which event to start the animation or transition. I will try to explain in simple words so that you guys understand it better. Okay, so now we want a transition to start as soon as the image control is loaded. So we will set the rooted event as loaded. The next thing that has to be done is inform the compiler to begin storyboard. So what is storyboard? In basic term, it is the timeline that is created as soon as the event is triggered, in which you can specify that actions you want to perform on the control, etc., which in our case fade in and fade out transition effect. Since we have already specified the initial image to our image control, so our first animation will be fade out. Since we want to animate the opacity, and as we know it is a double property, we will use double animation. Now set the following properties. Target property as opacity, speed ratio as 0.5 because we want to slow down the animation speed, and property from as 1 to 0.5, which means decrease opacity from 100% to 50%, and repeat behavior as forever since we want this animation to keep repeating. Guys, if you haven't subscribed my channel yet, please subscribe so that you don't miss any upcoming videos. Our next animation will be for fade in effect. So copy above the double animation code and swap the values of from and to. As we are done with the fade in and fade out animation, next thing we have to do is set the keyframes for our other two images. It is show them on perfect timing, and also we want to change the image control source property. So which is of type object, we will use object animation here with keyframes. We will set the target property as source and duration as 006 because I want to show each image for 2 seconds maximum, and again repeat behavior as forever. Now we will add keyframes for our remaining two images using discrete object keyframe, which will add our image on specified key time, which is after 2 seconds of first image. I would like to say a warm thanks to all my subscribers and viewers for liking and appreciating my work. Thank you all for your support till now, and I hope to do my best in future. Please keep supporting my work if you like it and share my work. By this we have completed our image transition effect as well. Let me change the title of my window and run the project. Seems like I made some mistake or something. Let's check it out. Okay, instead of target property, I wrote target name. This should fix the errors now. You like my work? Then hit a like and press the subscribe button. Come on now, you can do it. What are you waiting for? To get early access to my videos and source code, join me on Patreon now. Link is in the description. Your feedbacks are precious to me. Kindly drop feedbacks in the comment section below. Wait guys, you may have forgotten few things. Like, subscribe and press the bell icon so that you won't miss out any upcoming videos.